I was recently asked a question. What is a processed food? And I thought, what a great question. I just assume that people know what I'm talking about, but a lot of times if we're not using the same vocabulary, we're totally missing the point. So I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about what is a processed food. So first of all, what it's not is food in its whole state. So if you look at an apple, you know it's an apple. Nothing's been done to it other than it was picked off the tree. Same for this egg and radishes. I mean, the tops have been cut off, but other than that, nothing has been done to these foods. Now, for example, I have my tower over there, and I've got lots of fresh, raw, green vegetables. And so those are whole foods. So things that are not processed are in their whole state. You can look at it and you can tell what it is. If it's been processed, that means something has been done to it. It might have been heated, or parts have been removed from it. Like, for example, if you notice something on a label, it'll say isolated soy protein or isolated whey protein. That means that one part has been removed from the soybean or removed from the milk. So that is highly processed. Sometimes things are chemically changed in addition, although when you're isolating things, there's chemical processes going on in there as well. It's not like they just go in and remove it. For example, if you look at white flour, often it's enriched and bleached. Or if you think of stevia, when you buy stevia in the store, sometimes people will use that when they're trying to get off sugar. Well, the thing is stevia is a plant and it's green, it's not white, so that has been highly processed. For example, this is raw cane sugar, okay? Well, you might think, well, that's a better choice than white sugar, or even worse, like confectioner's sugar. I mean, it's all sugar, so it's negligible. How much it's been processed is probably not going to make a difference because it's still sugar, and you don't want a lot of that anyway. But when you're looking at things that you want to incorporate into your diet or leave out, just look to see what's on the label. So for example, here's peanut butter. We know that if you are sitting there shelling peanuts, that's a whole food that is in its natural state. You can tell that it's peanuts, right? But peanut butter has been processed a little bit. It's been pureed and ground and crushed, and then this one has salt added. There's a lot of peanut butters on the market that have high fructose corn syrup and hydrogenated fats, and that is not even close to being a whole food. The ingredients aren't, and the final product is not. So you want to look at the label. I mean, obviously, cookies, you cannot tell where these cookies came from, as far as you don't see the sugar cane stalk where the sugar came from. You don't see the eggs. You don't see the wheat where the wheat came from. So cookies are super processed foods. When you're looking at the label to determine the level of processed, you want to make sure that everything that's on there is a food, that you can recognize what that is. Otherwise, you probably are getting chemicals. When you see anything that says artificial, refined, bleached, isolated, those things are going to tell you that that is a very highly processed food, and you don't want to eat that. For example, raw cacao. Okay, these are raw cacao nibs, right? They have not been heated. I don't think they've been processed in any way that I know of other than dried and chopped. But then when it gets ground and put into Hershey's cocoa, it's been processed with alkali, most likely. And then you might even buy like a hot cocoa mix, and this has been put through everything that the Hershey's has been, but it also has cane sugar is number one ingredient, cocoa processed with alkali, and natural vanilla flavor. So highly processed, not. Of course, you're not going to get the same satisfaction from the cacao nibs as you will the hot chocolate, but at least you know where you stand, and you're able to make informed choices to get more towards the whole foods into your diet and maybe 20% of the processed foods. So if you have any questions at all, post them below and I will get back to you.